What if I told you that being irresistible isn't about looks, wealth, or even charm? It's about something far more subtle, something deeply wired into human psychology. It's what I call the secret handshake. But here's the twist: this handshake isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's psychological. It's silent, but when done right, it speaks louder than words. And in today's video, we're going to break it down piece by piece. You'll never look at a first interaction the same way again. Let's begin with something you already know, but probably don't pay enough attention to: first impressions. Science says it takes only 7 seconds for someone to decide whether they like you, trust you, or even want to talk to you again. But what happens in those 7 seconds? That's where the handshake begins. It starts with your energy, not your words. People feel your presence before they process your face. Think of your energy like a magnet. Are you pulling people in or pushing them away? Irresistibility starts with calm, confident, open body language. Shoulders relaxed, slight smile, genuine eye contact, not staring, but warm. You don't need to speak yet. You're already communicating one very powerful message: you're safe with me, and this is key psychological safety. Every emotionally intelligent person creates it unconsciously. Why? Because the human brain is constantly scanning for one thing: threats. So when you come across as grounded, non-judgmental, and calm, the other person's brain relaxes. You're not just a person anymore, you're a safe space. But now comes the actual handshake, the kind that most people miss. It's not your literal hand, it's your ability to make the other person feel seen. This is the core of being irresistible. You want to be unforgettable? Here's how. Ask a question that no one else would think to ask. Instead of "how's your day?" try "what's something you're proud of this week that no one asked you about?" Suddenly, their brain lights up. You've bypassed the surface and reached their emotional core. You've now performed step 2 of the secret handshake: emotional pattern interruption. You've broken their routine. You've offered them a moment of presence in a world that is constantly distracted. That's rare. That's powerful. Next, let's talk about the mirroring effect, a classic psychological tool. When we subtly mirror someone's posture, tone, or gestures, their subconscious begins to feel connected to us. But be careful, this has to be natural, not robotic. If they lean back, you lean slightly. If they laugh, you let yourself laugh too. This isn't manipulation, it's alignment. You're showing them, "I'm with you, I get you." And then comes the real magic: vulnerability. Not the type that overshares or trauma dumps, but the kind that creates emotional gravity. For example, you might say, "I used to struggle with feeling invisible in conversations. It took me a long time to realize most people just want someone to listen without fixing them." Boom, you've just offered your truth. That's attractive, that's real. You've unlocked the emotional handshake's third layer: trust. Now, let's go deeper. Being irresistible means knowing when to hold silence. Most people are terrified of silence, but silence used intentionally is not empty, it's loaded with presence. When you pause, look someone in the eye, and let a moment breathe, it tells them, "I'm not in a rush. I value this space." And that's rare in a world of distractions. Think about this. The most charismatic people are often the best listeners. Not because they're trying to impress, but because they're curious. Curiosity is magnetic. So instead of waiting to talk, lean into what they're saying. Ask, "Why does that matter to you?" or "What made that moment special?" You're giving them a gift, a mirror to reflect themselves. And guess what? People never forget who made them feel seen. Let's now talk about tension and release, one of the most powerful psychological tools in communication. You build tension when you hold a compliment back just a little, or when you delay your response with a thoughtful pause. You release it with warmth, humor, or an unexpected insight. This push and pull keeps interactions alive. It keeps people leaning in. So here's a trick used by emotionally intelligent people. When you meet someone new, say something like, "You strike me as someone who notices things other people miss." Is that true? You're not complimenting their looks or achievements, you're seeing their mind, their perception. that hits deeper than 1,000 likes on Instagram. Let's add one more layer to this handshake: consistency. You want to be truly irresistible. Be the same person in every room. Authenticity is rare, and people can feel it when you wear masks. When you show up consistently grounded, kind, curious, and open, you become a lighthouse. People are drawn to you because they know what to expect: honesty, stability, and presence. Here's a little known fact: most people are emotionally starved. They walk around with smiles on their faces, but inside, they're craving connection. When you give them even a few moments of real presence, your impact multiplies. You become someone they remember, someone they want to be around. But let's address the fear now. Some people hear this and think, isn't this manipulative? No, the secret handshake isn't about tricking anyone. It's about aligning with the deepest human need, the need to feel understood. If you use these tools to control, you'll lose the magic. But if you use them to connect, you'll become unforgettable. Now let me tell you a story. A man walks into a networking event. He's not the loudest. He's not the richest, but he does one thing differently. He introduces himself not with, "What do you do?" but with, "What makes you feel alive these days?" He listens. He remembers people's names. He reflects their stories back to them. People start forming a circle around him. Why? Because in a sea of noise, he offered stillness. That's the power of the secret handshake. That's why people can't resist him. So what can you do right now? Start small. Practice walking into a room with your shoulders relaxed, your breathing slow, and your mind clear. Notice the energy you carry. Listen without rushing. Ask questions that make people feel human again. Speak your truth gently, and watch what happens. Soon, you'll notice something strange. People will open up to you faster. They'll want to be around you more. They'll say things like, "I don't know why, but I feel like I've known you forever." That's because they've experienced the secret handshake and they felt it. In a world that's desperate to be heard, the one who listens, really listens, becomes irresistible. The one who sees behind the surface becomes unforgettable. And the one who leads with curiosity and calm becomes the person others trust most. You don't need to be loud to be magnetic. You just need to be present, consistently, genuinely, deeply. That is the secret handshake, and now that you know it, the real question is, who will you use it on next?